turn into a schmoozer with these interviews.
Okay. Today is April 3rd, 2022. My name is Joe Todd, and this is an interview with Connie Dean and Lester Carter and your brother and sister. Yes. Connie, when's your birthday?
September 7th, 1949.
And where were you born?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Lester, where were you born?
Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
And when's your birthday?
June 1947,
What day?
14th.
June 14th.
Flag Day.
Yes. Who's your father?
Orville Lester Carter, otherwise known as Red.
And your mother?
Evelyn Cockrell Carter.
Cockrell. C-O-C...
K-R-E-L-L.
Okay. When'd you start to school?
When?
When and where?
We started at Labadie Heights, outside of Bartlesville in Osage County. And Lester started when he was 6. And I started when I was almost 6, but I was still 5.
Okay. What year did you graduate high school?
1967.
1967. From College High?
College High School, Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Yes. Lester, how far in school did you go?
Not too far.
You know how far?
He was 12.
12.
Okay. He went so about 6 grades?
Probably 6th grade he left school.
Okay. And he, all 6 grades at Labadie Heights here?
Labadie Heights, and then it turned into Osage Hills.
Yes, yes, okay. Who is your favorite teacher?
Of all time,
Yes.
it would be Dale Jordan. And he was the principal at Osage Hills and also the 7th and 8th grade teacher.
Okay.
And I still stay in touch with him today.
Why was he your favorite?
He was innovative and did things that we'd never experienced before in this little country school. He had great expectations, had high standards, and it created quite a bit of controversy at times, but it was very interesting.
Yes. Now, we're doing this interview for people that have limits.
Correct.
What? Lester, what is your limit? Is that a fair question?
Probably struggle with some reading and some writing. Probably easily swayed and influenced.
What caused this limit?
You know, it's a controversy. It's been a controversy from day one. Mom had a very difficult delivery with him, even though he's only 7 pounds 1 ounce. And Dr. Word was her doctor, and apparently forceps were used after quite a long delivery attempt. And so he had marks on his forehead for a week after he was born. But later on in life, I was talking to Dr. Jordan, who went on to become very famous and an author of several books of limitations and working with a lot of children with limitations. And he said that his deficiencies are not consistent with brain trauma from forceps. And he felt like it was more on the spectrum,
Spectrum.
the autism spectrum.
Okay. Okay.
But we didn't know there was a spectrum in the 1940s and 50s.
Yes.
So he feels like his limitations just do not match up with a brain injury.
Okay. You have a good time in school?
Yeah.
Did you like school?
Uh-huh.
Who was your favorite teacher? Do you recall?
A man.
You recall his name?
Had to ask him.
What grade were you in?
5th.
That would be Dr. Jordan.
Dr. Jordan. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Where does he live now?
He lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
Hmm
Okay.
He's in his late 80s.
So after Lester, after the 6th
Yeah.
grade, where did you go?
Enid or something.
Enid State School.
Okay. What is Enid State School?
It's a state institution for children with disabilities. My understanding, of course, I was less than 12 when he went to Enid. But the situation was that he's quite the jokester and likes to tease a lot. And he was being too disruptive, and he got to the point where there was no learning happening anymore for him in a regular school, and he was disrupting the classroom. So the choice was made, because Mom was a working mom, that he would go to Enid State School and learn with other children and with teachers that had special skills to work with the disabled, so that he could learn to read and write. But she first went to the superintendent of Bartlesville schools and asked/begged for a class in Bartlesville for these children, and a special class, and was basically told that Bartlesville didn't have a problem and that there wasn't a need. And so the only option left was Enid State School. And it was a living, where he went there and lived when he was 12.
And it was a school for children with limitations?
Yes.
What type of limitations did they have?
Like I said, I was very young. But it was everything from severe limitations, bedfast almost, to probably kids like Lester that just needed more attention and better skills for their limitations to learn to read and write and get along in life. That the public schools just didn't have time or classes for that.
Did you like Enid?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you not like it sometimes?
Yeah. Dances over there.
You had dances.
Yeah.
You a good dancer?
Yeah.
You have a girlfriend?
Somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
What's
How
her
long-
name?
I should look it up. Yeah.
How long were you at Enid?
Not 18 or something.
No. You went to Hissom
Hissom.
when you were how old?
19.
No. You were more like 15 or
15.
16.
So you went to Hissom from Enid.
Yeah.
They opened up Hissom because the only option was Enid, and then they built Hissom, and that's another state school. But it was brand new, state of the art, swimming pool. Did they have a swimming pool?
Mhm.
They were just supposed to have all of this great programs, and plus it was so much closer to Bartlesville
Mhm.
than Enid was. Now, when he first went to Enid, we dropped him off, and we couldn't see him for 6 weeks, or talk to him for 6 weeks.
Why?
They said it was a transition period, and it would be better to not have any communication. Again, we're talking about the 1950s. And so it was at least 6 weeks before we could go back. And then when we would go back, we would go into a receiving type room,
Mhm.
and they would bring him to us. I don't ever remember going into the area where they slept or had classes or any of the other buildings. We were just allowed in this one portion. And then we would take him for the day, and we would go get hamburger and orange pop,
Yeah.
watch the airplanes at the
Mhm.
airport, just do whatever was available to do, and then
When
drop
did you
him
become
back off.
interested in airplanes?
My dad used to work on them.
He was a mechanic in World War II, aircraft mechanic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
And then when the war was over, and we moved to 44 Hill. Well, that's where we were all born when they lived on 44 Hill. Someone brought a biplane out. Was it more than one plane?
2 airplanes.
2 airplanes? What were they?
And Pepper Cub and 2 engines on the airplane.
A biplane.
Yeah.
And
Pepper Cub. No. The teddy bear. Teddy bear cub.
teddy bear cub.
The airplane. The airplane.
And Lester would go out, and they were out in the field by our house. So when he was playing, he would go climb in the cockpit and play war and play like he
Yeah.
was flying the airplane. And I think that's when the obsession
Yeah, so the
began.
Piper Cub has a single engine. You had one with 2 engines.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you really got interested in airplanes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
before he was 12.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tell me about Hissom.
That's some good place to live at or something.
Yes, what'd you do at Hissom?
Take them, pick up the mail and then deliver it.
At Hissom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you go to classes?
Yeah.
And then you would have go eat in the cafeteria?
Mhm.
And then you had a living space. How many people lived with you?
About 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you do activities? Like go off the campus and do things?
Probably.
Don't you remember?
Walked around on the campus.
Didn't they take you places?
Mhm.
Did you go to, what's that mountain that you used to go to?
Mountain.
Outside of, in Sand Springs?
Mhm.
What's the name of it?
Some park up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, Chandler.
Channel Park.
Chandler Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
And didn't you, how much you told me different places where you had Cub Scout meetings?
Mhm.
Was that when you were at Hissom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then did you go swimming?
Mhm.
Were you in the Olympics at Hissom? Special
Yeah.
Olympics?
Yeah.
You were?
Mhm.
Now, I was told you won some gold medals in the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
How many gold medals did you win?
A whole bunch of them.
Gold medal in swimming.
Yeah.
Always swimming.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, your mother told me about the gold medals he won.
Mhm.
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah.
for, was it International Special Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
And swam there.
Yeah.
That's up in Indiana.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hissom, what's the age limit at Hissom?
Well, that was the problem. It was a state school, so the age limit was 18.
Okay.
And when you turned 18, of course, if you were in public school, you graduate after you're 18, but once that's over, you're out of school. So that's what happened in the case of him with Hissom. He aged out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Mom was a single mom. And the options, what would that be, in the 60s? The options were not good. Some of them went to nursing homes. Some of them went home to live out their life. And fortunately, Mom was told about a lady named Mrs. Gates, Mrs. Helen Gates, who was starting her own group home because her son was also aging out of Hissom. And so Lester became one of the 6 boys. They had 6 boys and 6 girls. And he was one of the 6 boys when Mrs. Gates started her group home, and it eventually became Gatesway.
Gatesway. What happened to Hissom? Why did it close?
I was not living here at the time, but it seemed like there was a big controversy about abuse. That's what I remember. And so there was a class action lawsuit, and it went to court, and it was a big deal. And they decided, as the judge, I guess, decided that it would be best for the clients to be living out in the community to have a more normal lifestyle than living on a big campus isolated.
What type of child abuse?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was in the papers.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of documentation on that.
Yeah.
But Lester always seemed to have a really good memory and experience with Hissom. But Lester's very easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
He's very agreeable.
I know you've always been easy. I've known you for years. You're very easygoing.
Yeah.
So I think the challenge came from clients that weren't so easy.
Yeah.
That were more of a challenge. And I have met these clients, and they don't have a good memory of Hissom. But personally, I don't know exactly what happened. So anyway, they decided to put the clients out in the community, and that's when all of these other agencies started up, because there were all these clients needing someplace to go.
Do you have any other memories of Hissom?
Got a mail run in the morning, afternoon, take the mail round. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Did you have dances?
Dances over there, like Friday or something.
Yeah.
Watch movies over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What were your teachers like?
Good ones.
Good ones?
Women. Classes in there. Took classes.
Did you have any vocational classes?
Yeah.
What kind of vocational classes did you have?
Reading, arithmetic.
Mm-hmm. Did you build anything, like your wood cutting or?
Not yet.
Not
They
yet.
haven't wood cutting yet.
Yes. Tell me about Gatesway. What did you do at Gatesway?
It started out as a
Yeah.
house.
House.
How many people were there?
Boys in the house.
Tell me
Well,
about the house.
Live on Little Street, the house out there, and then we lived in there.
It was an old farmhouse.
Was
Like
it in Tulsa?
It was in Tulsa. It was at 71st, approximately 71st and Lewis. And there wasn't anything around. It was just an old farmhouse on an acreage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 2-story white house. And now it's like all built.
Oh, I know. Did you know Mrs. Gates?
I saw her and I knew her, but I was a kid.
Okay.
But Mom adored Mrs. Gates.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely thought she hung the moon. Gave her somewhere to go.
Yeah, because her son had
Down syndrome.
Down syndrome.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They're both gone now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But Mom was just up against a wall about what she was going to do because she had to work.
Yes.
And so she just thought Mrs. Gates was the cat's meow. And she loved those kids. And they started out in that little farmhouse. And then they added another house closer to 51st and Lewis. And they put the girls there and the boys at the farmhouse. I think that's how it went. They separated them. And then they would have classes during the day. And they would eat together. And she just had so many requests for more clients that I don't know how. But I don't know if she took a loan. I don't know if she got a grant or what she did. But she built a facility in Broken Arrow that's still the grounds of Gatesway today. That was built off of the prototype of a nursing home. And so he was in a room with one other boy. And so they started growing with more clients because there was a need. And they just did all kinds of things. They had wonderful parties. Christmas parties, Santa would come in a helicopter or whatever, and they would have music, like musicians, and food, and just all kinds of fun activities. They would take them to the movies. They would take them to the parks. She just did a fabulous job.
What did you do at Gatesway?
Yeah. Worked in the workshop.
What'd you work on?
Screws or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you working with wood, metal?
Metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
What were you making?
Probably something like airplane.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they did like contract work with Zebco at one time, where they would assemble something that they needed. And I know I've been in there times when I saw them putting a nut on a bolt, screwing a nut on a bolt. So they were doing piecework.
For Zebco?
Well, for whoever.
Okay.
But I do remember, I think Zebco at one time was one of their...
They made the fishing reels.
Something
Yes.
to do with the fishing
Yes. Yes.
reels or equipment or whatever. But, you know, as years went on, they had other clients. And it would be something that other people would find monotonous. But these clients would do it and find it interesting.
Okay. Did you know Mrs. Gates?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about her.
She's a woman. Live on Lewis. Yeah.
Did you like her?
Sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think she ran a pretty tight ship with you boys, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
What did you boys get into trouble doing?
Doing something.
What would you do?
I sneak off. Walk around somewhere. Yeah.
Did you sneak off?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Where did you go?
You see, there's a barn behind the girls' house. Go down there sometimes. Yeah.
Would you tease the girls?
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you climb the tree?
Probably.
You and who else?
Somebody will. Yeah.
Who'd you get in trouble with?
some girl or something. Yeah.
Did you get in trouble with Mrs. Gates?
Not yet. Sometime we went bowling alley on where the expressway is. We down there bowl.
Mm-hmm. Were you a good bowler?
Yeah.
He still bowls today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. How long you at Gatesway?
Long time.
50 years.
Yeah, 50 years.
50 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, did you work at Gatesway?
Mm-mm.
No.
Worked at Piccadilly or something.
Piccadilly.
They would approach companies to hire
Mm-hmm.
the clients. So I think one of his first jobs after he went to Gatesway, he worked at Piccadilly. Were you a dishwasher?
Mm-hmm.
Dishwasher.
Yeah, or dishwasher. Yeah.
Piccadilly cafeteria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
And then where else did you work? After you left Piccadilly, did you go somewhere else?
Subway. Oh, City of Tulsa.
No, you went to Subway first.
Subway. Yeah.
And what'd you do at Subway?
But the tables, and then was
Dishes?
dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you make a good salary?
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you do with the money?
Save it.
You save it?
Yeah.
What'd you buy?
Shampoo or something. Yeah.
Buy an airplane?
Yeah. Airplane.
Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, a small airplane.
Yeah. Small airplane.
He's got a collection of books,
Mm-hmm.
DVDs, CDs
Mm-hmm.
that would rival a library on
Yeah.
airplanes.
On airplanes.
On airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
Calendars,
Yeah.
models.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, you can come catalog them for him.
Yeah. Catalogs. Yeah.
Catalogs.
Did they have birthday parties for you?
Yeah.
Tell me about your birthday party at Gatesway. What would they do?
They'd take me out to lunch or something.
Yeah.
Get a hamburger, onion rings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have a cake?
Cake. Yeah.
Oh, cake's the best part.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
What flavor?
Vanilla. Yeah.
Now, Gatesway is still there.
Not like it used to be, but it's still there.
Okay.
It started out when Mrs. Gates, of course, it filled up. And so then she started, and I think this is all in connection with all the regulations they had to follow from the state, but she started putting clients that she felt could acclimate into group homes.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have the facility on the grounds, and then they would have group homes. And so Lester was one of the first ones to go out into a group home. And then when those started filled up, then she went to duplexes. You went to the duplex.
Mm-hmm.
So your group that you lived with began to shrink.
Now, what is a group home?
A group home is like a house that they would rent,
Mm-hmm.
possibly purchase, and it would have, 4, 5 bedrooms, and they would put however many people they were allowed to fit into the size of the home, and they would have staff, and they would have their meals there. So it wasn't like the beginning facility that was more like the nursing home layout where you would eat like in a cafeteria. It was more like a home.
Okay.
And so they would be in the group home, and then when those filled up, she decided to try the duplexes, which was less people and more homey-like.
Mm-hmm.
And then he graduated to a house by himself with a roommate,
Mm-hmm.
and was it always you and Clifton?
Mm-hmm.
So he was with a client named Clifton until Clifton passed away. And now he lives in his home by himself with staff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Clifton.
Left him in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
Go play bingo or something.
Mm-hmm.
Go bingo hall or something.
Yes.
Play bingo or something.
Okay. Now these group homes is that part of Gatesway or is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
This was all gradually through the years, the 50 years that he was at Gatesway.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now you have a job now, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you? You still live at Gatesway? Is
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mrs. Gates, of course, died.
Mhm.
And then the management changed throughout the years since her death.
Mhm.
And the last person that I know that was president or whatever of Gatesway, made the decision that it was no longer profitable. Of course, they're a nonprofit, or were supposed to be. It was no longer profitable to have Lester as a client. So we were given a letter to find another place after 50 years.
After 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
From Gatesway, where did you go?
ResCare?
Duplex.
No, instead of Gatesway, who oversaw you?
Somebody did.
ResCare?
Yeah.
ResCare. Now,
ResCare, ResCare.
What is ResCare?
It's another agency. There's all kinds of agencies, and so it's just another agency. But it's more, Gatesway was a grounds. Like there was a place where they had a gymnasium. At one time they had a swimming pool. They had a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big agency, and Mrs. Gates built it. Through the years, everything started shutting down. They filled in the swimming pool. I think they sold off the workshop. I'm not sure. I've told they've been selling stuff off. So, but ResCare is more of a I don't know how to say it. They just oversee and manage his team and the paperwork and everything. But he has his own home that he rents, but there's no gymnasium. There's
You say his team.
Mm-hmm.
What is your team?
Do you know who's on your team?
Bowling team.
Not your bowling team. You know when they come to the IP meeting?
Yeah.
You remember who's all on your team?
Let's see. Old woman works in the office.
Mm-hmm. So we have a case manager who is from DHS. And then we have a PC program coordinator who works in the ResCare office that coordinates his budget.
PC program?
Program coordinator.
Oh.
PC.
The program coordinator. Okay.
That manages his budget.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we have the DHS case manager who coordinates everything with ResCare from DHS. There's a state nurse that comes around sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then his guardian, which is his sister Kay. And then I'm the house manager, so I am there.
Because you're the house manager.
I'm the house manager.
Okay. Now, Kay, that's your sister. She is
Guardian.
the legal guardian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How often do you go as, you say you're the
House manager?
house manager? How often do you go there?
Oh, every week.
Every week.
I'm there 40 plus hours a week.
Okay.
So I work as a staff,
Okay.
but I'm overseeing all the other staff.
Now, how many people live in your house?
Only one. I mean,
Do you live there by yourself?
yeah.
Okay. How many rooms in your house?
By 3.
3 bedrooms.
3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
One of them's what?
Exercise room.
Exercise
What do you
room.
have on in your equipment?
Yeah, like here. Like the ski.
Elliptical.
Yeah.
What else?
Treadmill.
Treadmill. And what else is in there?
TV.
A TV.
You have a room for all your airplanes and your
Yeah.
books?
Oh, there's airplanes in there.
Yeah.
So one room is a library with everything?
Well, the hall closet is a library. The exercise room closet is a library.
Yeah.
His room is a library. The hall has a bookcase that's a library.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you lived at the house?
Long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
How many years?
Probably 10. Before that, they always rented a house, and for whatever reason, maybe the landlord decided to sell the house. Maybe the landlord wasn't keeping up with the house, and he would have to move, and he hated moving. So Kay ended up buying a house and renting it to him.
Okay.
So that's in his budget every year.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you work now?
City of Tulsa.
City of Tulsa.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Pick the mail, take it around, and pick the mail up by 1 o'clock, put it on somebody's desk, and then come back after a while, and then take it around.
What building do you work in?
First building,
Engineering.
Engineering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
How far is your house from where you work?
Quite a ways,
11 miles.
11 miles.
How do you get to work?
Take me to work. Take me to work.
You take him to work?
Yes. Whoever's on duty.
Whoever's on duty. Okay. You work how many days a week?
10 o'clock till 2:30.
Is that 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you do on weekends, your time off?
You go stores or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which stores do you like to go to?
Flea market. Yeah.
Or
Lake.
Go to the lake. Which
go
lake?
to Home Depot,
Yeah. Home Depot.
Lowe's.
Lowe's.
Look at the saws and the wood.
Yeah. Saws and wood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like to go to Bass Pro Shop?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Bass Pro Shop.
Oh,
yeah.
that's a good place.
Yeah.
You go to the Aerospace Museum in Tulsa.
Sometimes.
He used to volunteer there.
Volunteered there a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good museum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's traveled all over going to airplane museums.
There you
Yeah.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Been to Smithsonian.
Yeah.
He's
He's been to the Smith. Been to Washington D.C.
Yeah.
He's been to Hawaii to see the memorial there.
Yeah.
There's a airplane museum in I think it's Chico or Chino, California.
Mm-hmm.
We went out there. What's it called?
Went back Aerodrome.
Hmm?
California.
Yeah, I remember when we went out there and saw all those airplanes.
Yeah.
In like in the cow field. Plains of Fame, I think is the name.
Now there's a group, it used to be called the Confederate Air Force, but they changed it because Confederate's not a good term anymore. And they used to have some in Liberal, Kansas, and some in Texas. They had World War II airplanes that they fly around. And they've been to Tulsa several times.
He used to go to all those air shows.
Yes.
And Bartlesville used to have an air show.
The biplane fly-in.
And he would come up here all the time when they would have that. And then there's the Will Rogers fly-in in Claremore. And he would go to that every year. If there's an air show somewhere and he knows about it, he's going to be there.
Housework, laundry. Who does this?
He does his own laundry.
You do your own laundry.
He does his own housework.
Oh, you clean house.
Yeah.
You a good housekeeper?
If sister keeps on top of him,
Yeah.
then I make you clean. And if it snows, what do you do?
Shovel out, shovel the snow and put the salt on the driveway. Yeah.
Sound like you do good work.
And grocery shopping?
Grocery shopping, pick up stuff you need. Yeah.
Who takes you grocery shopping?
Connie does. Yeah. Yeah.
You do buy things he needs and things he doesn't need?
I don't buy things he doesn't need.
Mean no ice cream or candy?
Well, we do get candy, but it's sugar-free because he isn't, you know, he does have problems with the sugar.
Diabetes?
That was before I started working with him.
Does he have to take insulin?
Pills.
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 Okay.
Um,
Oh, I can take a pill.
Pill.
Are you good at taking your pills?
Yeah.
He used to mow the grass, but we stopped that several years ago.
Now, DHS is a state agency. Are they in charge of the whole program?
What whole program?
Well, with Lester, are they in charge of the house?
Well,
where he works?
there's a budget, you know, that covers all of the household expenses and staffing and just everything that he needs to live.
Okay.
Now, he does pay a portion to whatever agency he's with because what the state pays doesn't cover everything.
Okay. Now you say what agency he's with.
Like if he was with Gatesway, Gatesway got money from the state to oversee him.
Okay.
And, you know, you'd have to have a budget. Everybody has to have a budget.
Okay.
And so whatever is not covered by what the Oklahoma pays, then it comes from his funds, his personal funds.
Is he with an agency now?
ResCare.
Okay, you told me that, ResCare. I'm sorry. Sorry.
And now it's Brightway. I think they changed their name to Brightway. They still use ResCare, but it's ResCare/Brightway.
Okay.
But the main thing that they do, of course, is make sure he's well taken care of. That there's staff.
Okay.
And there's a budget. And all the bills are paid.
How many people on the staff?
Right now we have 3.
3. That's you?
Mm-hmm.
Is there...
Phil, my husband.
Okay.
His brother-in-law.
Okay.
And he's the one that will take him fishing and Bass Pro shopping and getting a hamburger every Saturday and all that.
Okay.
So
and
that kind of covers the males.
Is Kay on the staff also?
No.
No.
And then we have Maria.
Who is Maria?
Maria's been with him for, oh gosh, a long time. I brought Maria in maybe 10 years ago.
Now, is she like a case manager or what?
No, she's just a worker.
Just a worker.
Staff.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And like ResCare Brightway, they train everybody. We have first aid, CPR, just all kinds of classes we have to take, and they, keep everybody up to date on all of their training, certification, and all that. And say if Maria wasn't going to be there, if she decided she was going to move to Timbuktu, they would bring in somebody else.
Okay.
So it's up to them to keep staff. But Lester doesn't turn over staff very often.
You like Maria?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about her. What do you like about her?
She's nice. Yeah. Take me places.
Yes.
Yeah.
How often?
Her shift generally lands on bowling day, so she's always taking you bowling.
Okay.
Yeah.
What days you go bowling?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Now, is Maria there every day?
No.
No.
We do creative staffing, where like, say I would come on Sunday. He generally Phil's on Friday afternoon through Sunday morning. So they can go do stuff, go to the lake or go fishing or do whatever on Saturday. And then he comes over to my house on Sunday. We have a big family dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go, I take over and bring him back to his house, and he'll do his laundry and whatever needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts work on Monday. And so even the staff, except Phil and I, of course, we see each other, but we generally drop him off at work, and then if the next staff is coming on, they pick him up from work. So we don't really see each other. But it allows, like Maria, I mean, we're not known, this industry is not known for great pay. So we do this so that they can work around the clock and still have the opportunity to get another part-time job. Because Maria is there typically from Tuesday at 2:30 until Friday morning at 10:30.
Okay. There's always a staff member there every day.
Every day.
Every day. It's
Except
either,
when he's working.
It's either Maria, Phil, or you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, back to you.
Oh,
What'd you do after high school?
went to college at OSU, Oklahoma State University.
Yep. You stay on campus or off campus?
I stayed on campus.
Okay. Which dormitory?
Murray,
Murray.
until they closed Murray
Mm-hmm.
after my second year, and then it was West Bennett, over by the stadium.
Yes.
I have no idea is that still a dorm?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. I stayed at Cordell Hall,
Uh-huh.
which they tore down.
Of course. Yeah.
I was there, so they tore it down.
Yeah. You burned the place down.
Yes. Where'd you meet Phil?
At OSU.
Oh, she.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. When'd you get married?
1971, and you should know that.
Yes. I was at the wedding.
You were not at the wedding. You were on stage at my wedding. You were hiding under the podium.
Yes. Recording every.
Yes.
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 How many children do you have?
I have 2 children.
2 children.
2 girls.
How many grandkids?
3 grandchildren.
3 grandchildren. Mm-hmm.
2 in North Carolina and 1 in California.
Mm-hmm. Lester, anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to say?
See, have flying in Bartlesville yet?
The fly-ins in Bartlesville.
Oh
they
no,
stopped.
they stopped them because everybody's getting too old.
Too old?
The
Yeah.
planes
Yeah.
are getting too old too.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they keep the planes up, but they couldn't keep the guys up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything else that you want to add? Anything?
Oh,
Anything that we haven't talked about?
I'm trying to think. It's just that things have changed so much
Yeah.
over the years. You know, people didn't have options in the 50s, and it all changed. I don't even know when it changed, but the laws became so that these children were, we were required to offer them an education. Until that time, so many of them were just stuck in a back room of their house and didn't have any connection with the outside world. He's had an amazing education for the most part, amazing life, has led as normal a life as possible because of the way things changed. And, you know, I know Mom probably got a lot of flack for putting him in Enid, and I know it was the hardest thing she ever did. But through the years, she felt like it afforded him to live out his life in the best way possible, even beyond what we could have imagined at that time. So it was hard.
Well, this is a very good interview.
Yeah.
You're a very good interviewer.
Yeah.
Well, Lester, I want to thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you too, Connie.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
And again, this is April 3rd, 2022. My name is Joe Todd. This has been an interview with Connie Dean and Lester Carter in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.